So, what's the plan? So it's day 7, and I'm still working on getting the hallway stash figured, but let's take a quick break to see what's in these bins. So, this one small bin has all these squares already cut up. Someone put a lot of time into getting these squares cut out. And there's no other indication of like a plan, no design, no paper, no notes, no person, no history. It's all up to me, which is exciting because there's like all this creative liberty that I could do with this stuff. And being an engineer-minded person, first thing I want to do is quantify how much supply do I have, and how can I reduce the possibility of waste. Like, how can I use up as much of the supply as possible? Or do I need to split the supply? Like, how many quilts can I make out of all this? Squares? I don't know. I am inexperienced. I've never made a quilt. I don't know how many squares equals what. And I'm sure as I'm going along in this journey, I'm going to figure that out. Like, oh, so many yards equals a twin size quilt. And feel free to leave a comment if you already know what that formula is. But, so I got these squares, and I'm sorting them, and I'm kind of seeing like a color scheme. And I noticed that the reverse side of the polyester almost looks like a pattern as well. Like it's reversible. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not really familiar with polyester. I don't have very much polyester in my wardrobe at all, except for maybe some dress slacks. And I'm not a fan of synthetics. I am totally a cotton girl. I like natural fibers. I like silk. I like wool. But cotton is my main. I love cotton. So I'm going to figure out what's all in this box, and I'll just get it nice looking. I'll get it looking nice. I'll stack them, get the wrinkles out, bend the corners back. And it's polyester, so I don't really have to work that hard to get corners and wrinkles and folds out of there. It's been in this box for how long? I don't know. Well, all that doesn't matter now. This material has a new start. I'm at least going to attempt to get it created into some form of art or craft and get it into the world for everyone's viewing pleasure. Maybe even have some utility. Wouldn't that be great? As I'm going through it, as I'm touching every square, of course I'm getting inspiration. But then I noticed as I'm reaching in here that not all these squares are the same size. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. So something's going on here. Are there different colors that are different sizes? I'm not sure what the rhyme and reason was for this. Well, I guess it doesn't really need rhyme and reason now, because everything's going to be a brand new start. So, I've got maybe 2 different sizes in here, and I'll measure that out more properly later. But for now, it's just, how can I get this to have some sense of order? Again, just some of the same material was cut into smaller squares. And finding a little bit of cotton, I was excited about that. I thought, oh good, if anything, I can at least get the cotton out of here. Yeah, the more I think about it, I'm thinking that's going to be the best route, is to get the material, sort this by material, and then maybe work towards size, like get my polyester separate from my cotton, and get the denim and the silk and the corduroy separate. And when I guess I'll just take it a bag at a time. I've got all this stuff capsulated into bags, and I'll just be like, well, today, day 7, for instance, we're going to go through this container of polyester squares and get an idea of what's in here. And it's good that I'm making the video, because I can always go back. I can always go back and see what color, where was a certain pattern. But with that idea, I'm going to have to do like an overview. So I'm going to get this all spread out. I've laid a sheet on my bed. So if you're wondering where I'm at in the house, I'm in the master bedroom. And I have a full-size bed. And I have laid a sheet down, because I don't know what's at the bottom of the container. You never know. But I've laid that out, and this is my little work surface. Now, one thing about putting something on the bed that you sleep on at night is that it's a marker. There's a finite amount of time that I can do this sorting, and I'm trying to hurry. I mean, this isn't just like me fast forwarding the video. Well, okay, you got me. I fast forwarded the video, but I am trying to do this in less than an hour. Like, I give myself, as I've said before, I give myself 3 hours a day to myself to work on my projects. And that schedule goes pretty good as long as the house needs and the farm needs are taken care of first priority. So if the farm is taken care of and the house is taken care of, then I can easily do my 3 hours to myself stuff. And this is one of those hours that I chose. Oh, there's another piece of cotton. That little yellow-orange piece right there. Yeah, I mean, just a teeny tiny strip. What in the world? But you never know. Never know what I could do with the crumb-size scraps. That red piece right there that I have found, it already looks like it's been quilted. Like, that's just the pattern. Kind of different size squares, but same color scheme. And during the sort, I was kind of finding, they've taken a large piece of polyester and cut it into these squares. Now, I'm not sure that it was done with a rotary cutter or regular straight scissors. I am not sure. But I do know that some of the edges on these things are not true. There's some that have got a slant to them. Here's another square that's got a pattern to it that looks like it's already been pieced. Those pieces are going to prove to be a challenge to incorporate into something. And I'm not sure about some of these colors as well. I'm guessing this material might have come from the 60s. And I don't know, this is an interesting find. This is a smaller than the majority of the squares. And if you look carefully, doesn't this look like birthday cake pattern? Like, you see cakes that have the speckles in the mix, and you bake the cake and then it's supposed to look like little colorful things. This square, I'm going to put that somewhere important, because I definitely want to use that. Do y'all ever have that happen to you? Like, you have your fabric and your craft material and some supply media, and you find one and it just strikes you with inspiration. Like, you're like, oh wow, I definitely don't want to put that, hidden back away or tucked up in storage. You just instantly develop a spark with that material. I saw that little square and I put it over to the side. I do not want to lose that. Man, how much of that do I have in this pile? Because I can just... The first thing I thought of was like birthday cake things that you would bake. Like, I know there's some cake mix. I don't know who makes it, but it's like a white vanilla cake, but they got like these little specks in the mix, and you bake the cake, and then inside it looks like colored confetti has exploded inside your beautiful white cake. And I wonder if I can somehow incorporate that theme. Birthday, could I sew this into a cake pattern, a cake format? Can I match those colors, kind of build on that? Like that would be the main focal point piece, and then I would build onto it. But I'm going to go through, now I got like a renewed bit of energy here. Can I find more of this type of square? I know it's polyester, but I'm going to forgive it because that's pretty cool. That was a pretty cool little spark that occurred there. Now I did find over here a large clump of cotton. These are 2.5-inch cut squares. And someone took a thread and strung it right through the middle of all these squares. So there had to been an intention for that. It's even got like a little tag saying that it's like that purple color. And that was interesting. So I'm wondering, as I'm going through this stash and sorting it out, will I find more of those types of squares already cut out, strung through? And I'm going to see at the end of this project, or when I get to the end of the stash sorting, how much of those little 2.5-inch squares were. But bonus, it's cotton. 2, there's a lot of it, so that gives you a lot of liberty when there's a lot. And 3, it's a beautiful pattern. It's a nice color, you know, and it's not polyester. But I'm going to put that over to my little side pile of cotton finds I'm getting sorted out. And now I've found all kind of the big squares, and there's this slightly smaller square cuts. I'm running out of room on my sheet, but that also means that I've almost reached the end of getting this container figured out. Yay! Some part of me is really got a sense of gratification whenever things are orderly like that. I guess that's normal, but nothing unique. But look at all that I have found. Let me just go through the inventory here after the sort. This is what I've got. You can see the different cuts, the colors. We got patterns. Some are textured. We've got fabric that's ribbed, fabric that has like raised impressions of patterns. And so here's all those white squares that I was a little confused at first and then realized those were different fabrics. And I've put the smaller squares of the same material together. So as I'm going to store that, I'm going to put those sandwiched in on top. Here's my cotton finds. Yay! Those look really good. I'm interested. Here's some close-ups of the textures. And here's some of the brighter, crazy colors. And this will be that video that I'm going to look back on and be like, now, where did I see those plaids? Those florals. And after all that sorting, I did manage to get it back into the container that it originally was in. Look at all that empty space. So I've got it sorted like dark light, so that I don't like grab a chunk of white squares and think, oh, these are all the same white. Nope, I've got the majority pieces together. These are the ones that there's not a lot of. This is everything but that little birthday cake square. I put that on my sewing table. So I'm so pleased. Doesn't this look great? And as I find more of this material, this is going to be the base where I can put more finds. I think that just looks awesome. So, mission accomplished here on day 7. I've gone through a little light sorting exercise here, and I've got my bed cleared off. It's clean. I just take that sheet and fluff it out, wash it. But, you know, the job is not done until I put a label on the box. So here we go. this yellow post-it note is going to be my indicator of this box has been sorted. It says polyester squares, 5 inches or less, with 3 sizes involved, and it says right there, proudly sorted. And this is gratifying right here, guys. This really charges me up. I am well on my way